Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. This is Take It to the Hizzy Fantasy Football, TITTH number 205. I'm your host, Justin Bruni. I got my co-host, Emran Khan, with me this morning. Happy Sunday, sir. Welcome to Week 11. How are we doing?
I'm doing good, man. Another week. We got, as Bears fans, another 8 games to go, so I'm super pumped. We get 2 games this week, which could be good or bad.
Yeah, and there will not be a return of the Mac this season. Really sad to hear about that,
Bummer.
but we're going to be missing Khalil Mack. I hope he has not played his last days in a Chicago Bears jersey. We can talk about that a little bit later when we get to that matchup. But Mac not going to be returning. Not happy about that, and hopefully we don't, make the move to the future. We can, kind of still be in a win now mode. But let's dig in. Well, let's jump into our rundown here. What are your best props for today? Looks like you got a big same gamer you got going.
No, it's it's put same game, but it's actually a player prop one. There's another player prop one I was going back and forth with, but this one I really like for the props. I like Justin Fields over total yards. So this is rushing and passing, 247.5, a number he's beat the last 2 weeks against better defenses in the Niners and the Steelers. Anytime touchdown for Cam Newton with him starting. I feel like I was really shocked that was plus money. I was shocked. I was like, that's going to happen. A.J. Dillon's taking over today for Aaron Jones, so I like him rushing against that Vikings defense, 82.5. I do think that Chiefs and Cowboys game is going to be a shootout, so I really like Dak to get 3 touchdowns, so over 2.5. And then Joe Mixon and that matchup against the Raiders, which I think is also going to be a sneaky shootout. I like him for over total yards, so rushing and receiving, 85.5. This is a plus 36-37. Parlay. So I personally placed this one this morning. So $22 to win 800 if all 5 hit. Nice.
I like it. You got a lot going on there. I like the upside for all of those. I have just Jamar Chase over 5.5 catches. That's my best prop for the day. Jamar Chase coming back. He's has 32 targets his last 3 weeks total. So he's getting a ton of usage right now. Love the matchup going up against the Raiders on the road. So yeah, give me Jamar Chase over the 5.5 catches. It's not paying plus money, but it's paying even money, which is good enough for me for Jamar. Yeah. We got the chat bumping already. Blake's up in there. What's up, guys? Good morning, Blake. Welcome to the show. Drop in any sit or start questions if you like. We're going to run through our game time decisions and players that are ruled out and who we do not expect this week. I'll start with the not expected and ruled out. Emron, if you want to cover the game time decisions and expected to play. So not expected to play today, we have Elijah Mitchell, Allen Robinson, Jared Goff, Zach Wilson, and Allen Lazard. Ruled out this week 11. We have Jeremy McNichols, JaMychal Hasty, Marquise Brown, Miles Boykin, Jamar Jefferson, Alvin Kamara. Come on, Alvin, let's get with it. Ricky Seals-Jones, prop up some John Bates value for the football team. Aaron Jones and DeAndre Hopkins. Who are we looking at as game time decisions and expected to play, Emron?
The biggest one got to be for game time is Kyler Murray. But from what Justin and I were talking about before the show kicked off, it looks like it's leaning towards another Colt McCoy start. So Kyler's a game time decision, but not looking good. You got Curtis Samuel, who's a game time decision as well, and a little revenge game here, playing his old team, the Panthers. You got Donovan Peoples-Jones not looking good as well against the Lions. In the same game, we got Jamal Williams, who missed last week. It looks like he might miss this week as well. Game time decision, and just another thing to keep in mind for these Lions players, they have a short week. They have another game on Thursday for Thanksgiving. So for the folks that are game time, they may not play. Expected to play today, you got Brandon Bolden, Jonnu Smith, James Robinson, Latavius Murray. Lamar Jackson is expected to play, but yesterday, Justin and I were also talking about they had walkthroughs yesterday, and he had trouble there too. So even if he does play, it's going to be interesting to see what we get out of him.
Yeah, it sounds like he is going to play. That's at least the temperature right now. We'll see what it looks like closer to kickoff. But it seems like he has a more upside to play rather than, say, like Kyler Murray, who's trending in the wrong direction. So any of those updates that we have as we are live here, we will definitely bring them to the forefront. And be sure to smash the like button, share the video, and follow us on youtube.com/take it to the Hizzy. Drop in any sit or start questions. If this is your trade deadline week, toss in some trades. If you want feedback on trades or anything like that, maybe your deadline just passed, you got a deal through, we can talk about them. Just drop anything out in the chat. I also have Twitter up here as well, so you will be heard. We'll get you on the screen. All right, first we are jumping into our morning flex. We're starting with the quarterbacks. We got Derek Carr versus Cincinnati hosting the Bengals, or Jimmy Garoppolo on the road in Jacksonville. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's put a couple of really good games together. I think he had multiple touchdowns in his last game, 300+ yards 2 games prior to that. But I still trust Derek Carr a little bit more, just like his entire body of work. If I'm, weighing the confidence points between the two, I definitely still lean in favor of Derek Carr, who is, also playing at home. I think that should be, kind of in the narrative as well here.
Yeah, I think in this game, I'm going to go with Derek Carr here. He had a decent game Monday night. They had a touchdown. What would have been, I believe, his 3rd touchdown, and Darren Waller called back on some nonsense. So he could have had a really solid night on Monday instead of a good night. Jimmy Garoppolo, something smells weird about this Niners-Jags game to me. I don't know what it is. I think it's one of those what's heavily betted on the Niners. So I think this could be a game where they just rely heavily on the run. I know Elijah Mitchell might not play, but this might be a big Jeff Wilson game who's supposed to be back. So I like Derek Carr, and like I mentioned earlier, I think that's going to be a sneaky shootout game. So I think he could have a big game, and the Bengals D can give up some big plays.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jimmy could still have a good game, but between the two, who's more likely to throw an interception? Jimmy. You take that to the next level. Who's more likely to throw 2 interceptions? Still Jimmy. Right? I expect that the Jags will have a few different packages that'll, throw them off. They'll have some drive enders, but I don't expect the 49ers to be in big trouble in Jacksonville. That game's early up on the preview, so I'll kind of hold off on that for a little bit. Next up, we have Carson Wentz versus Buffalo. Actually, he's on the road at Buffalo, and then Kirk Cousins hosting Green Bay. They're hosting the Packers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is a little bit closer. I feel like Carson Wentz should probably be higher in the rankings than he is this week, but I will still go with Kirk Cousins. I just think it's a softer matchup. While I do think that the Colts will be able to battle with the Bills today, I still trust Kirk Cousins in that offense more. Just more consistent weapons. Jonathan Taylor's been coming around. He's definitely the fuel of that offense. He keeps those drives alive. Carson Wentz, you can still make a mistake or two. It's still the Bills' defense. I think it'll be a good game, but I like Cousins more here. What do you think?
I'm with you. I'm going to go with Cousins. The Wentz matchup against Buffalo is really weird because, Buffalo, on paper, it looks like a really good defense, right? But when you dig into their schedule, when they play teams with winning records, they struggle. The only one they have against is the Chiefs. And Wentz, I still don't trust him. Cousins, usually when it's a big game, it's a joke that he's not going to have a good game. But he's at home. It's Green Bay. Green Bay secondary is not that good. They can be had. So I think I trust him in the situation more than I trust Wentz. I think this is another game, Packers and Vikings, that could have a little bit of fireworks too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I honestly think, if the Bills defense, doesn't come to play, you'll have plenty of fireworks in that Bills and Colts game. I feel like you have, 2 really good rosters here still. I'm hoping for more action than less. I'd like to see them go over the total, but there is still a fair amount of defense in that game. So, yeah, it's kind of same situation, like both options, but more confidence points in Cousins. All right, we have a question in the chat here. Not even going to try the name. I know I've tried it a few times in prior weeks. Appreciate the continued support, sir. We've got Jonathan Taylor, Dalvin Cook. Wow, James Conner, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Like we're setting a lineup here.
Yeah, like what? Who do I start this week? I mean, 2, 2, and 1. Well, you got 4 running backs. You got 3 receivers. So how many options? There's 7, and we need to start 6 or start 5.
Yeah, let me take a crack at this. So definitely
Bob Dole. Bob Dole's in the chat, man. Get him, Bob Dole.
So let me go with Taylor and Cook. I think that's a no-brainer. You start those 2 every week, especially with the matchups this week. Diggs and then I think with the 2 wide receivers in the flex is Diggs, AJ Brown, and Hill. Diggs versus the Colts, Hill versus the Cowboys, which should be the biggest game of the week. AJ Brown has been pretty solid. I think, so I think I start Cook and Taylor, and then my wide receivers are Diggs, Brown, and Hill as my flex as well. So that's what I would do. And then he said tight end as well. I'll go with Gesicki over Ertz because I don't like Colt McCoy.
Jesus. Yeah, this is his whole lineup here. So Taylor and Cook, I think, are home runs. Connor without Kyler is not a home run. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I believe it could be his first week back. I don't even know if he's 100% to go. So
he's not.
He's a fade.
Yeah.
Hill has the most targets of any receiver across the past 4 weeks. I mean, I don't even need that stat. You're starting Tyreek Hill every week. What are we even talking about?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, you go with those. You go with those three receivers and Cook and Taylor. I mean, that's pretty easy to me. Connor and Hilaire, they're just bigger dart throws of this mix of players here. And then Gesicki and Ertz. Yeah, Gesicki, for tight ends leading in targets the past 4 weeks, he's number 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. So he has a lot more consistent volume. Bob Dole, former United States Senator, in the chat. Let's go, Bob Dole. Fire up. All right, moving on. Let's see who we got here. We got some running backs and receiver combo. We got James Conner, who we just mentioned, playing at Seattle, A.J. Dillon at Minnesota, or Michael Pittman Jr. at Buffalo. I mean, I know we just said not to start James Conner, but the options were Dalvin Cook and Jonathan Taylor. I do think that he's closer to A.J. Dillon in this matchup, but I think A.J. Dillon is the answer here, no?
I think so too, because Pittman, just going process by elimination, Pittman's the best receiver for the Colts, right? That means he's going to get matched up with Tre'Davious White. Don't like that matchup for Pittman. James Conner has been on a heater lately, right? But guess what? The entire world knows that. And with Colt McCoy playing, yeah, good luck. So I think A.J. Dillon's a key here. And I hate propping up Packers, but he's looked really good, man. He's a big dude. He runs. He's fast. He can catch the ball. And I think, I think this is what they drafted him for, right? He was a second-round pick for this type of role. So I think they're going to feed him good.
Yeah, I mean, LaFleur brought him in for this mold, like this running back system, like this run-heavy, playbook, right?
He was Derrick Henry. He came from Tennessee.
He might very well look like the next Derrick Henry. Is he going to be that guy? Like, do you think that the Packers could even move on from Aaron Jones, who they just gave an extension to this offseason? Like, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is gone, do you think that Aaron Jones, gets a little disgruntled?
Their cap situation is really bad, man. So I'm really curious to see what they do. I know everybody thinks like salary cap's a myth, but with last year, like with the COVID situation and money being lost, I think they're going to have to make some tough decisions. I'm really interested to see their offseason, but that would be one case where that never made sense to me. Like you drafted a running back in a second round and then you gave another running back, a $70-80 million contract. He got a lot of money. I think he's getting like 18 a year or something. So that never made sense to me. And I love Aaron Jones. I think he's great. But if you love Aaron Jones, why are you drafting a running back in the second round when you could have drafted a receiver? Well, we could go on for days about that.
Right, and they had Jamal Williams too. They let him go. I mean, at this point last year, it was a 3-headed running back group, right? Mm-hmm. I, as an Aaron Jones owner, I honestly haven't hated the A.J. Dillon production this season. I mean, yeah, Aaron Jones just got hurt, but he's not hurt severely, right? And I feel like in those situations, like Barkley and Henry and these running back groups where the lead dog is getting just an over usage of touches, that's where you see those early injuries in the season, like the CMCs as well, right? So I always felt like, I was like, you know what, I don't hate Dillon getting those 8 to 10 touches as long as he's holding up my shares of Aaron Jones. He's keeping Aaron Jones healthy. They're not overusing him. He's not overstraining his legs or anything like that. Obviously, he has an MCL sprain, no tear, which is great. And, if you're an Aaron Jones owner, I mean, him and Randall Cobb are fooling around on the sidelines. Randall Cobb's carrying him off. He's not going off on a cart. He's putting him literally on his back. It didn't really seem as serious, right? So A.J. Dillon, I think, is, if anything, for fantasy owners, he's a nice little piece to prop up Aaron Jones from getting hurt all the damn time. So I haven't hated him this season, but I am interested to see what they do going forward. If you do get an Aaron Jones that's disgruntled this offseason, whether it be, losing Aaron Rodgers, or maybe he doesn't love the system the way it's set up. Maybe he wants to go somewhere and just be featured. He was a guy that I was talking about going to Miami, going to Arizona this offseason. Those pieces or those moves would definitely still be in play. And I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him get featured on another squad if, Green Bay isn't going to be the long-term stay.
Yep.
All right, let's get back to it here. We got Leonard Fournette versus Darrell Williams versus Hunter Renfro. Fournette gets the Giants on Monday night. Darrell Williams in that potential firework matchup against Dallas, and Hunter Renfro hosting Cincinnati. Where are you going here?
I'm going Leonard Fournette 1. Giants defense, I don't trust them. Fournette can attack them in multiple ways, so I think Fournette's 1. Hunter Renfro, I feel like anytime I watch a Raiders game, he's catching a pass, right? Like it always happens. Like he's really solid. He's got a really low floor. So I go Fournette, Hunter Renfro, and then as much as we talked about this matchup, I just feel like with Williams and Hilaire maybe coming back, there's so much up in the air. You just don't know. Yeah, so that's why I would go with him third.
Darrell Williams getting a lot of targets the last 4 weeks, but like you mentioned, Hilaire could come in there and disrupt that situation. I lean Leonard Fournette as well when I look at these guys and I see who's most likely to score a touchdown. Fournette, take it to the second level with the second touchdown, still Fournette. So I like him there. And there could be some garbage time in that Giants matchup. There's a huge spread. I want to say 10.5 or 11 points.
It's double digits.
If the Buccaneers open that up early, if the floodgates are open in the second quarter, then there could be a lot of garbage time for Fournette. So I like that upside for him. Great matchup. All right, next up, shifting a little bit more to wide receiver heavy, we have DJ Moore versus Washington, Brandon Cooks at Tennessee, or Mark Ingram at the Eagles. Is DJ Moore back? I mean, Cam Newton bringing some excitement back to that locker room. Should we be excited about DJ Moore this week?
I think overall I am excited about DJ Moore. Cam's really good when he has receivers. This is a good matchup. Washington unfortunately just lost Chase Young, so their defense is kind of already suspect. They're getting a little bit weaker. I think of these three, I would probably go with Mark Ingram one. He was very admirable last week filling in for Kamara, and he knows that offense like the back of his hand, right? So I think Ingram getting the workload and Philly, I think that's a good matchup there. So I like Ingram one. I think I'll go Moore two. I think he hasn't been that. I think his issues have been obviously the quarterback play. And I think now that Cam's back, I think he could be in line for a decent day. So I'll go with him too. And I think it'll just keep getting better and better. And I'll go Cooks three. And this guy's I think one of the underrated receivers this year. He plays on a terrible team, terrible quarterback play. Somehow finds a way to produce every week. I don't know how he does it.
I like Brandon Cooks second. I still like Brandon Cooks over DJ Moore, but I agree with you. Mark Ingram's probably the best choice here. Going to see the most volume. They were passing him the ball. They were giving him rushing attempts. I do feel that he will find pay dirt this week. The other two, not as likely. I think DJ Moore is going to need a couple of red zone targets or, a couple of those plays that just looks like, oh, yep, Cam's running downhill. And they just, use some type of, gadget player, end around reverse, or maybe he rushes one in, off of Cam's run in one direction, flips it back the other way type of thing. I don't trust it. I think DJ Moore doesn't have the best floor this week. I could see him around 4 to 5 catches and maybe 60 yards top because, again, Cam's not a big deep field guy or downfield guy, right? I don't trust him to get the ball deep to Moore or Anderson. A lot more, in and out routes and stuff like that, just trying to move the chains and keep things safe.
Right.
Checking into the chat here. Oh, we got Stephen Hammond in here. We got asking about Jamar Chase over 74.5 receiving. I think it's pretty good, Steve. I think that's there's a lot of upside in that pick. I've got him over 5.5 catches today. That's my best prop on the day. So 74.5.
He's a big play receiver. Yeah. I think
we can get that.
And with the Raiders, them having their issues, one of them was they cut I think last year's first round pick Damon Arnett. So secondary is already a little sus. And so I think, I think that's definitely doable. I'm all on Jamar Chase. I feel like him and Joe Burrow are due for a day.
Yep, absolutely. I got the 5.5 catches. Sounds like Steve is sniffing out the yards.
Yep.
Going to be a nice little Sunday, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up we got Jalen Waddle at the Jets, Mike Williams versus Pittsburgh at home, or Alex Collins versus Arizona. Alex Collins versus Arizona might be the play here. But, man, Jalen Waddle's been killing it. And another guy that just has a whole mess of targets the last 4 weeks, top 5 in the league. Mike Williams trending in the wrong direction, but I don't think this is a bad spot for him at home. But unfortunately, I have to put Mike Williams third here. I'll go Alex Collins versus Arizona first, Waddle second, and then Williams third.
Close with me as well. I think I'm going to go with Waddle one. He's just a target monster, really low floor. I've never seen somebody have so many multi double-digit catch games, 12 catches, 10 catches, 13 catches, but barely crack 100 yards. He gets all the checkdowns. So if you're in a PPR league, low floor for him. So especially in this matchup, so I go Waddle 1, Collins 2, like you mentioned, and Williams 3. Like you said, he's trending in the wrong direction. There's opportunities against the Steelers defense, but he's got to make me a believer.
Yeah, I feel like if you asked me this question on Tuesday, I'd probably say Waddle just because Collins' status was more, up in the air. But it seems like he's going to be fine. I think he's going to get a lot of touches there. Pete Carroll has gone on record saying hey, we need to run more. We need to establish the ground game. So I like Alex Collins there. Obviously, no Chris Carson coming back this year, so should be a lot of upside for him going forward. Someone I would definitely want to be looking to buy if your trade deadline is, end of today, end of tomorrow. McCaffrey over 43 receiving yards. What do we think? Does the Pope shit in the woods?
Does the Pope
poop?
Especially with Cam playing? Oh, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very familiar with each other. Kind of that same thing with like DJ Moore. Like DJ Moore could have a good game because they still have that kind of chemistry there, but I just don't trust it. Not a big downfield guy, but CMC should be cleaning up. All right, next one up, we got Pat Freiermuth at the Chargers or Zach Ertz at Seattle. I put this one on the board when I was assuming that Kyler was going to play. I think Freiermuth is probably a home run here without Kyler.
He's had some decent games. He's had a lot of touchdowns. He's finding his role in that offense. So I'm going with the move.
Yeah, Freiermuth has the second most receiving touchdowns for tight ends across the past 4 weeks. That's with a total of 3. I'm trying to think who's the only player ahead of him is touchdown monster machine Hunter Henry, 1 per game. Didn't get one this week. What the hell was that all about? What the hell was that all about? Have you watched Man in the Arena yet?
I have not. That's the Kurt Warner one, right?
Tom Brady. It's a Tom Brady one. Kurt Warner got a movie that I won't see. It looks terrible.
Terrible. No, I didn't see Man in the Arena now.
The Kurt Warner movie looks like a Hallmark movie. What's their problem? Where's the production money at?
Yeah. From what I saw, I mean, I know he was a grocery store clerk, so I guess he used the grocery store budget.
Yeah, like what the hell, man? Like what? Yeah. I mean, I feel like it looks like a bad Hallmark Christmas movie. Like every time I see that
movie had some potential. Yeah, I think it had some potential. I love the concept and especially Kurt Warner's story.
Oh yeah, it's a nice story, but maybe I'll listen to the movie rather than watch it. We'll see. Man in the Arena, though, watch the first episode. If there's more than one episode, pretty good so far. Not bad.
Nice.
Yeah, a little going back and forth with Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady from their their first Super Bowl run. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I couldn't complain. Mm-hmm. Not a big Tom Brady guy, but I was into it. All right. Next up, we got Dawson Knox versus the Colts or Dalton Schultz versus KC. Both pretty good matchups here, but with Amari Cooper out for the Dallas Cowboys, I think Dalton Schultz is kind of the clear-cut answer here.
Exactly. I think it's going to be Schultz. I know Gallup did get back, but I think he's going to have a role in this game. But I think Schultz, is really going to attack that Kansas City secondary. And, Nick Sorensen is the weak spot of the secondary, the safety, who I think is going to get matched up with Schultz quite a bit. And I love it.
Sorensen's a good player. I just don't think he's a great matchup for Schultz necessarily. But he's
bad in coverage. He's feisty, but he gets blown up in coverage a lot.
Oh, yeah. He's not a speedster for sure back there. But yeah, he's a feisty player. I love Sorensen and IDP. All right, moving along. Let's get into our game previews here. Got a lot to get through. Get him pulled up here. What do you think about like Cedric Wilson today? Would you be looking to start Cedric Wilson with Amari Cooper out?
I mean, if you're in a deep league and you don't have options, I definitely think there's upside. He's proven to have a role in that offense. I think if you need a long shot play, I think I'd say I like him a little bit better than like McCole Hardman. I'd say, yeah.
All right. First up, we got the Lions at the Browns. Lions coming in as road dogs, plus 13 on the spread, plus 460 on the money line, and the over under in this game is at 42.5 points. It's a really low total with such a big spread, so I think I'm actually going to take the Lions to cover that. I don't love the Browns offense today. You do get Nick Chubb back, but Donovan Peoples-Jones is questionable. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing, if he's going to be in or out. I think Dearness Johnson might get a couple extra catches because of that. I don't know. It's kind of a tricky one with this total. I think we both agree the Browns are going to win outright, minus 600 on the money line here. But yeah, I think the Lions can cover. Give me like a 17-7 type of game and give me under 42.5 points. What do you think?
I think so. The Lions have Tim Boyle playing. The Browns still have a decent defense. Lions offense is shit. All their offense is basically DeAndre Swift, and that's about it, right? Even last week, TJ Hawkinson was hampered. So I'm going to go with honestly, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to go with the Browns to cover, and I'm going to go with the under as well. I think it could be like an ugly, like 24-10, something like that, where it's just ugly.
Yeah, I don't think the Lions are going to get to 10. I'm putting them at 7. Give me 7 to 9 points for the Lions today.
Yeah.
I just don't know where the production is going to come from. You got, a question mark in Tim Boyle coming out. Maybe he's just ready to go. Maybe he's in that Mike White territory. Maybe in the Mike White column, and he's just ready
he might take some shots because if you watch the game, I don't know if you caught any of the Steelers Lions last week, but Goff had like 15 pass attempts and like 80 yards. Like he was not even trying to. I know the game was a little sloppy, but I feel like that's his game. Like throughout the season, he doesn't take any shots, so basically every play is a run play because they're not trying to air it out at all.
Yeah, I mean, with the Browns, I would have them covering the spread. I don't know where their offense is going to come from. I feel like the Lions could do enough to slow down Nick Chubb, who hasn't been practicing, that's been away from the team and everything like that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but I think 13 is too big of a number if we're putting the total at 42 points, which I still like the under here. What do you think about that total?
Under. I'm going with the under.
Okay.
I don't see like not a lot of offense.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, if there's very little offense, 13 seems, like a pretty tall number. Maybe I just buy it up to 14 or 15. You know what I mean? Or wait for the Browns to score a touchdown and buy it at 17. Something like that. That's still a really big number. All right, next up, we've got the 49ers traveling to Jacksonville, coming in as road favorites, -6.5 on the spread. I've also seen 7 as well. -300 on the money line. Total here is at 45.5. I don't know if I trust the Jaguars to do their role to get us over the total. They've only scored 3 touchdowns in the past 3 weeks. And that one of them coming with a win over the Bills, where they didn't score a touchdown at all in that game. I love the 49ers at the -300. Kind of with you, just keeping it simple, like in that Browns matchup. Just give me the Niners to cover here. I don't trust the Jaguars. I know they're playing at home, but that's not enough for me.
I think the Niners are going to win outright, but I am going to take the Jags to cover. I don't know what it is. Something feel. I just got a gut feel. I could be wrong, but I think the Jags will keep it close enough. It's almost a touchdown, and I think under as well. I don't. Again, I just don't see a lot of points here, and I think the Niners are going to do a lot of running.
Who's like Jeff Wilson today? Because it doesn't look like Elijah Mitchell is going to be in.
Yeah, no Elijah Mitchell. And when Jeff Wilson's gotten his opportunities to play over the last couple of years, it's like any running back for the Niners, right? You plug him in, you'll get 20 carries, get him 100 yards. It doesn't really matter who plays. Their offensive line is really solid.
What about Trey Sermon? You think he'll have a pulse this week? You think that he'll get some touches?
He should. I mean, they took him in the 3rd round, right? That's all we heard all summer. Trey Sermon. And then the guy they took in the 6th round is the guy that's eaten. So, I mean, he should. Yeah. He should get some
you would think. I'm going to keep Sermon on my taxi squad this week. I am not pulling him up. Sorry. We got Driscoll in the chat saying DPJ, Don Peoples-Jones, uphill battle to start. Most likely out. Not great. Yeah. Not great. Hopefully some more value for Dearness Johnson, who just keeps getting it done, and then shoved away once Nick Chubb comes back. Hopefully he can have a role this week. All right, next up, we've got the Colts traveling to Buffalo, coming in as road dogs, +7 on the spread, +265 on the money line, and the over-under is at 49.5. I don't know if I trust the total of 49.5, but I really like the Colts to cover this one. They've been playing really good football. I think Frank Reich is going to have a really good game plan to attack the Bills. And like you've mentioned, when the Bills have played teams with winning records, when they've played, decent rosters, they struggle. So give me the Colts to win, or Colts to cover. They may very well win, but I'm going to stay away from the money line in this one. I'm going to take the Colts on the 7. What do you like here?
Yeah, this is one of my best bets for the week was the Colts +7. Like we just talked about the Bills. I think the only win they have so far in the season over a team with a winning record is the Chiefs. I think when they played the Chiefs didn't have a winning record at the time. So they struggle. I mean, they just lost the Jags. Like this is supposed to be a contender. They just don't fit it. And I think what we're going to happen here is I think the Colts will cover. It would not shock me if they went outright because I think they're going to have a lot of Jonathan Taylor, keep Josh Allen off the field. So give me the Colts to cover +7. And then I like the under here. I think 49 is a good number for this game, but I think we could get like a 24-23, 27-21 type of game.
I agree. I'm going to take the under there. I could see even like 24-20, something like that. We got Dame in the chat. Should he start Miles Sanders today? What do you think?
What are your options?
I don't love it. Yeah, I don't love it.
One of the options.
I'm starting Jordan Howard this week. I'm really hurt at running back, and Elijah Mitchell isn't going to play. So.
Yep.
Good morning, Herbert or Burrow. Also, Titans or Dolphins defense. So Herbie gets the Steelers. Burrow gets the Raiders. I think that's the answer there is Burrow. It's a much better matchup.
I agree, Burrow as well.
Titans or Dolphins.
Give me the Titans. The Titans defense has been sneaky good this year.
Yeah, their secondary isn't great, but I feel like it's enough going up against Houston, right? So it's Houston or the Jets. Like what's a better matchup, right? You got Joe Flacco starting for the Jets. Like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? You know what I mean?
I think,
we don't really know.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that matters too is the teams. The Titans are a much better team than the Dolphins are. And the Titans are probably going to get up on the Texans very fast. Texans are going to be in recovery mode, and I think that's going to maybe force some turnovers. And their secondary, I mean, their defense has played really good against the Rams. I think they beat 5 straight playoff teams from last year. So I love what the Titans are doing, and I think this is a This is a good matchup for them. I think they're the number 1 seed right now in the AFC.
And the Titans just always find a way to win as well. That's just kind of been their MO, right? So obviously a win probably isn't going to play a role to the pick, but I agree with Emron. Like, they're going to be in a better situation. They're going to be in the driver's seat most of the game. The Dolphins, I mean, we don't know which version of them we're going to get.
Happen in that game. Exactly. You have no idea what's going to happen.
We have no idea which version we're going to get. Is Joe Flacco going to be more closer to Mike White, or is it going to be closer to Zach Wilson? We have no idea.
Yep.
Speaking of which, next up, Miami Dolphins, New York Jets. Dolphins coming in as road favorites, -3.5 on the spread, -183 on the money line. The over-under in this game is at 44.5 points. I agree with you. I really don't like this game at all. I'm probably going to stay away. I think over 44.5 is probably going to hit. The Jets' defense has been very bad. I expect the Dolphins to try and run a lot on the Jets. And the Dolphins defense hasn't been very good either. I could see the Jets putting in their fair share, anywhere from 17 to 21 points. So I'll go with the over here. I do not love the spread. I do not love the money line. What do you like here?
I'll take the Jets to cover at home. The 3.5, the half is what I like. I think it'll be a close game. 2 equally shitty teams are playing. Mm-hmm. And I like the over as well. I think both secondaries are susceptible to big play. So give me the over and the Jets to cover. And fuck it, the Jets will win too.
That's the way I've been leaning the past couple of days, and it's just when you say it, like, it just kind of comes out like Jesus is trying to speak through my mouth. It's like parcel tongue. I start talking like a snake.
I think in my picks, I picked the Dolphins to win, but it's just one of those things. This is one of those games where it really could go either way. It really could. You have no idea.
Give me the jet. Yeah. Give me the jet. I just can't do it. I can't do it. And I just don't know what I'm getting. Like, if you told me like Mike White was in there, I'd be like, yeah, let's ride the magic. Let's do it. Magic Mike, let's go. But I have nothing to be excited about in this game. Nothing whatsoever. I hope Myles Gaskins does something, just like anything, because I have to start him. So that's all I got going in that game. Give me some Myles Gaskin. All right, next up, we've got the football team and the Panthers. Dame, if you're still in the chat asking about Miles Sanders, give us your other options. We'll let us know. We'll talk about it. We got the football team coming into Carolina. Road dogs, +3.5 on the spread, +150 on the money line. Over-under is at 43 points. I like the Panthers here. Defense has been better. It looks like and feels like they have a boost on offense with Cam at quarterback. So just give me the Panthers here straight up. I don't want to mess with the spread. I'm actually looking at the Panthers covering -3.5 at a +100 rating. So I don't want to mess with any of that. Just give me the Panthers here. They're playing at home. You mentioned, the potential revenge for, Curtis Samuel. You've got Cam versus Rivera. You've got Rivera versus the Panthers. You got a whole mess of revenge back and forth here.
Yeah, I think one thing we learned with the Panthers is Panthers are, just what the hell is that organization doing? This year they're paying Cam, Teddy Bridgewater, and Sam Darnold. When they could have just paid Cam, we should have never left. But yeah, right. I think that team just felt different last week when Cam got there. Like that's where he belongs. Like it just looked right. And I think they're currently the 7th seed, I think, right now, as things stand. They have that last playoff spot, and I think they could keep a hold on it because the NFC's a mess up. I like the Panthers to cover at home. I think they still got a big boost from Cam being back. I think that offense, like what you're noticing is they have playmakers on that offense, like DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall. Like they have some guys on that offense. Just the quarterback play's been dog shit. So give me the Panthers to cover the 3.5, and I like over 43. I think we'll hit it late.
Yeah. I think we're likely to hit the over as well. While I do expect the football team and Heineke and company to struggle early, I do think that they can find, their opportunity, put some points on the board here, maybe even in garbage time. We could see the Panthers up, a bit of a margin in this one, but I do like the over 43. I like the Panthers to win. I don't love the spread. I don't like it. Your brother was in the chat asking about an anytime touchdown. Let's go Fields. Yeah, give me a Justin Fields anytime tutty.
David Montgomery. I think that's a really good one. I think at home, I think that's a good one. Who else? Who else did I have? I think Michael Carter I like too as a sneaky one. Jets and Dolphins, and then CD Lamb.
Tua is another good one. I mean, any of those guys. Tua, Ahmed, Gaskin. The Jets are terrible up against the run. I think they are the worst team up against the run. So some opportunity plays there.
Yep.
Jamar Chase, we've been talking up Jamar Chase. Steve's on his yards. I'm on his catches. Let's throw in the touchdown there as well. We got Blake in the chat asking Colt McCoy, Zach Moss, Alex Collins, Cedric Wilson, Randall Cobb in your super flex. I think this might be our league. I think this might be our dynasty league. I'm going Alex Collins. What do you think? We just ride with the quarterback.
I got to ride with the quarterback. I don't, but you got to go with the quarterback. Even on a bad week, it's double digits.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I still like Alex Collins. I think he could have a big game. Let's see. Catch up with the chat a little bit here. We got DJ Moore, 4.5 catches. I like the over. I think it's 4 or 5. That's the answer. So I like the 5. Let's see. Matt, 4 starters out for me this week. I'm going on strike. Tony or McKissick for your flex. I like McKissick. That's definitely a little bit more consistent of a play. Or you could scoop Collins or Lat Murray. Grab Collins. I mean, what do you like there? Emron, you like JD McKissick or Alex Collins?
I
think there's more volume for Collins. Yeah, I think there's more volume for sure. But between McKissick and Tony, I'm going McKissick. That one's a little bit easier for me.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We got our boys here hosting the Ravens. Ravens coming into Chicago. Road favorites. Minus 240 on the spread. Minus 5 on the spread. Minus 240 on the money line. Totals at 43.5 points. I actually like the Bears to cover here. With Lamar being hobbled coming in, maybe we somehow get him pulled out of the game late. No Marquise Brown. Running game's been struggling. Or at least they're trying to figure it out. I know they just cut Lev Bell. Give me the Bears to cover. Ravens probably win. What do you think?
Yeah, so I love my trends. So I got to talk about those real quick. So fun facts, Lamar has never lost to an NFC team, 12-0. Ravens have never won in Soldier Field. Mm-hmm. And the Bears have not won a game off the bye since 2013. So a lot of something's got to change today, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I love the +5. I think it's a great number, and I think it may go down. So if you're looking to place bets this morning, I'd place that pretty soon because some news comes up about Lamar Jackson, you lose a little volume. I think 5 is a really good number for the Bears to come at home. Although they're on a 4-game losing streak, Justin Fields has had 2 really good games back to back, and it looks like in that Steelers game things clicked for him, and he's maybe turning the corner. And this isn't your dad's Raven defense, right? They're the 32nd pass defense in the NFL. They give up a lot of big plays. And I think the Bears will cover and that's like the Bears to win at home. I think they'll find a way to gut one out. And I think Lamar Jackson, I think even if he plays, I think you'll see he's just not the same guy today. He's having an insane year. Like he's on pace for, I think I checked the numbers, about 4,500 passing yards. And I think probably still close to 1,000 yards. What he's doing this year is just insane, and I don't think he's getting any love for it at all.
No, definitely not nearly enough, but I think there's going to be definitely more talk about him in that MVP conversation with Kyler going down, with the Bills struggling the way that they are, the way that the Chiefs have been struggling this year. I think that's going to be a more consistent conversation as we go forward. So, yeah, I'm with you. Give me the Bears on the cover. I'm staying away from the money line. I don't want to pick a winner here. I hope cheering for the Bears. And give me the over 43.5 points. We have Bobby on Twitter asking Darnell Mooney or Cedric Wilson. You have looks like no Allen Robinson today. Is that enough for you to get Mooney in your lineup?
Even if Robinson is playing, ever since Fields taken over, Mooney's a clear number one on that offense, and you can see the offense is starting to go downfield more.
Yep,
so give me Mooney.
I agree. All right, we also have Delusional Tanner in the chat. We had missed him earlier, brought the question back up for us. Appreciate it, sir. Let's see, pick 2.5 point PPR league. Michael Pittman, Terry Mack, Tyler Lockett, or Hunter Renfro. Pick 2. Man, I hate sitting Terry McLaurin, but it might be the week for it. I really like. Man, no, Pittman's got a tough matchup too. Man, is the answer here really Lockett and Renfro?
Not for me. You always start your studs. Terry McLaurin's a stud, so I'm starting Terry McLaurin, and I'm going to go probably Renfro.
That's the answer. I'm not sitting Terry. Everywhere that I own him, he's starting, but I don't have as good of options there. So, yeah, I probably go with Terry Mack and Renfro as well. I don't know. Lockett's got a pretty decent matchup. Got Russ back. I'm going to go Lockett and Renfro. I'm switching mine. Give me Lockett and Renfro. I'm going with my gut.
Okay.
Terry might have a hard day, and he's on my team. So, what does that mean? It's not a lock for greatness. Driscoll, Monty, anytime touchdown is at plus 140. It moved from plus 125. So, okay. Some action coming in counterclockwise. All right, next up, we've got the Saints and the Eagles. Saints coming in to Philly, road dogs, plus 2.5 on the spread, plus 135 on the money line. Over under is at 42.5 points. I like the Saints on the road here. Saints are marching into Philly. Give me the Saints.
Same. This Eagles 0-4 this year at home.
Yep.
Makes no sense.
Is it 0-5 now?
It'll be 0-5 after today.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I like the Saints here as the underdogs and the plus money line. And I'll go with the under here as well. Eagles have a decent defense. Saints do too. And, you don't really have the playmakers today. You don't have Michael Thomas. Obviously, he's been out for the year. You don't have Alvin Kamara. I think it's going to be an ugly game here as well. So I'll go with the under of the Saints.
I'm going to say the Saints put up points. I'm going to say over 42.5. Saints got a good defense. I think the Eagles will do some damage at home. Yeah, give me the over 42.5. Give me the Saints on the plus money. Give me the plus 135. Not touching the spread. The spread. What am I talking about? The spread's plus money too. I guess I'll take that. What the heck? They're really trying to mess with us here. I really don't hate Trevor Siemian. He's doing a good job. Nothing bad to say. Really.
He's not going to lose for you.
Yeah, that's good, and that's really all that they need. I mean, they were winning games with Winston doing little to nothing. So, Siemian not too bad. All right, next up we got the Houston Texans traveling to Tennessee, coming in as 10.5 point underdogs, plus 10.5 on the spread, plus 370 on the money line, and the over under is at 44.5 points. Can the Titans do that on their own? Can they score 40 in this game?
Yes.
All right, cool. Then I'm going to take the Titans to cover too.
Yeah, but the problem is it's going to probably be like 40-3.
Yeah, no.
You didn't ask me if the Titans can cover by themselves. You asked me if they can get to 40, and I said yes. But I do think that the Titans are going to cover this one. They're just playing the best football of anybody in the NFL, and I think they have a claim to being the best team in the NFL. Just look at who they've beaten. Like, they have all the excuses in the world when they play the Rams, the Chiefs, whoever. Right? They keep finding a way to win. Like, they're a really good coach team. No Derrick Henry, no Julio Jones. It's been, Ryan Tannehill in that defense. So Texans game, I think I don't see them losing their, keeping their eyes off the ball. I think they're going to, do their thing, come in, big game on the ground for their team. Give me the Titans to cover. And I'm going to go with the under here because I just see this game being like 35-3 or something, or 35-7. I don't expect a lot from the Texans.
Why'd you have to say 34? Because I was thinking like 34-10, but not even considering the total.
I said 35. I said 35. Well, if you get 35-10, yeah.
I'm going to stay away from the total. Just give me the Titans to cover. I think that's a home run today. Honestly, I'm still going to buy it down to the 10. I don't think that I have to, but I'm still going to just because I'm weird like that. Hate the half points. We got Ryan in the chat asking Fryer Muth or Hawkinson. Muth.
Let me go Hawkinson.
Really?
I can't see him. He had, I think 5-6 targets last week, no catches, no points. I just don't see that happen. I think Tim Boyle might actually be a step up for their offense. I think he may tear it down the field a little bit more. Freiermuth, if he's playing with Rudolph, it's just I think I'm coming back to who's the better player, and I'm going with Hawkinson.
Well, Freiermuth was still fine with Rudolph, but it sounds like Ben's coming back. Higher scoring game in there. I don't know what to expect out of Tim Boyle if he's going to last the whole game even. So yeah, I'm gonna fade Hawkinson there until I get some more clarity on that situation. Freiermuth, like I said, he has the second highest most touchdowns for tight ends across the last 4 weeks. So a little bit more consistent recently, at least.
Yep.
Someone else just popped something. Says Boyle TD is like 1 TD and 15 in college. By the way, oh, who knew? Not me.
And he's starting in the NFL now.
Life moves pretty fast. All right, next up, we've got the Packers traveling to Minnesota. Packers coming in as road favorites, -1 on the spread, -120 in the money line, and 47 points is the total here. I am going to go with the over, and don't like saying it, but give me the Packers. 9-1 ATS this season, been looking good. Aaron Rodgers another week removed from the COVID list. Give me the Packers.
Yeah, I'll go with the Packers as well too. If it was +3, I would
Hmm.
take the Vikings to cover 3 at home. But yeah, down to the wire, you're basically asking me to pick Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, so I'll go with the
Right.
Packers over in the Packers.
Yeah, and I trust LaFleur more as well as a head
Hmm.
coach. So just keeping it simple there.
Yep.
Next up, we got the Bengals and the Raiders. Bengals coming in as road favorites, -1.5 on the spread, -128 on the money line, and the over/under is at 50.5 points. It's a big number, but I think we're heading over it. Both of these quarterbacks love to throw the ball downfield. One of these teams will be behind probably by 10 to 14 points at a given point, but I would expect the other team to also rally that margin. I think it's going to be a close one. Man, I have been losing money on the Bengals.
Yeah.
So I'll probably go with the Raiders. My
I'm gonna go
instincts say to take the
Bengals.
Bengals. Yeah,
Yeah, my instincts do as well. The Raiders just have too many distractions all over the place, and they're coming down to earth. You know what's funny? This time a month ago, the number 1 and number 2 seeds in the AFC were the Bengals and the Raiders.
I remember we talked
And
about that.
yeah, it was crazy. And but yeah, I think the Bengals are coming off a bye, right? Again, I think they're due. The Raiders aren't very good. You know, they're very bad at home too. They feel like everybody just goes into Vegas and just beats them up. So I'll go with the Bengals, and I think the over here too. I think this is going to be a fun game in the afternoon. A lot of fun afternoon games, actually.
My instincts are telling me to take the Bengals, and my instincts on the Bengals have been wrong about 4 weeks in a row. I mean, they didn't play on a
So you're
they were on
going
a bye
Aqua
last week.
Gelato.
Yep, pretty much. We got Ryan in the chat asking, thanks, Baker, Tua, or Cam.
Cam.
Yeah, I can't
I'm
trust
not even
Baker.
overthinking it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Baker, I don't even know
I
if
can't
he's
trust
playing.
Baker. It was
He's
Tua.
banged
Tua
up.
wasn't on my radar, but Baker, I was trying to ponder for a second, but now with Don Peoples-Jones not 100%, doesn't look like he's going to be playing. I think they're definitely going to lean on the run game.
Yep.
Lance Davis in the chat, goon up or goon down? Let's go. OG over here. What's up, fellas? Bear down. Let's fucking go. Turn up and get rolling versus Baltimore. Flex, half-point PPR. Gronk doesn't play until Monday night. Zach Moss. Go Zach Moss.
Yeah, I'll go Zach Moss. Gronk, it's just hard to figure it out. He's been out for a while. I think this would be his first game back, right, if he's playing. Moss, I think this could be a nice little matchup for them where he can maybe sneak a touchdown in.
Yep, absolutely. And Moss has just been the guy that's, getting the touches in the red zone, more consistent rusher. Singletary's been mixed into the passing game the past couple of weeks, but is that sustainable? We have no idea. And Gronk coming back from injury, we have no idea. Yep, Goon Squad in the chat. Some OGs in there. Lance Davis and Blake Jacobs. Gotta love that. Next up, we have the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Cardinals coming into Seattle as road dogs, +3 on the spread, +138 on the money line, and the over-under is at 45.5 points. No Kyler, no problem. Give me the Seahawks. I'm just going to take them on the money line. You think we can hit 45.5?
No. Colt McCoy just last week was really bad, So I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks to win at home, and they'll cover the 3 as well. And give me the under.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from the total. I see where you're coming at with the total coming in on the under. Pete Carroll, he wants to put the ball on the ground more, wants to run a lot more often now. That's always seems like their MO the past couple of seasons. They come out of the gate passing a lot. Even with Geno, they were passing a fair amount, and they're like, you know what? It's November. Now we run. Now we stay in the ground. Yeah, give me the Seahawks there, and I'll ride. I'll tail your pick on the under. I'm not really decisive one way or the other, so I'll take the under 45.5 there. Next up, fireworks. I'm praying. Give me the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Cowboys traveling to KC. Cowboys coming in as road dogs, +2.5 on the spread, +119 on the money line. Over unders at 56 points. That's a lot of points.
Yep.
I feel most comfortable with the Cowboys straight up. What do you like?
I like the Chiefs straight up. The 2.5, usually when it's under 3, for the road favorite. I'm sorry, for the road team, that means they're liking the road team a little bit. So I like the Chiefs at home. I think they're catching their groove. I think Dallas, if they had Cooper, I would go with Dallas, but I think they're going to feel that a little bit. And look at the total, right, for the over. 56 is a daunting number, but sometimes when you look at these things, you just don't want to overthink it. 2 defenses that gave up big plays, right? I know Dallas gets a lot of interceptions, but Trayvon Diggs also gets beat a lot. So I like the over in this game. I think it's going to be a big matchup, a lot of fireworks. I have the Chiefs to win. And I think they'll cover as well. 2.5. It's just so close. So I think the Chiefs will cover, and I like the over.
I like the Cowboys more. Their defense has made a couple extra plays this season. They've looked better than advertised. The Chiefs not as advertised. I mean they had an opportunity last week to really get the offense rolling up against the Raiders. Took advantage of it. Absolutely loved it. Thank goodness for my Pat Mahomes shares. My gosh, I was waiting for a week like that. But I cashed in the Cowboys on the under last week, and they were hurting the Falcons early, and their defense just stepped up. Not saying it's obviously the same type of matchup this week or the same level, but I think they're going to do enough to actually hit the under 56 points. I'll buy that up to 57.5 and slam the under, and I'll sleep easy. And yeah, I think the Cowboys are just a better team this year. Even without Amari Cooper, I still think that they can really take it to the Chiefs on the road here. To me, that's my biggest thing. Like they're just on the road. That's the only thing I really don't love about this matchup. Amari Cooper being out, yeah, it could be an issue, but we've seen all of these guys have reliable production. Wilson, they have Michael Gallup back. They have CeeDee Lamb, who's been an A1 receiver this year. Dalton Schultz, Pollard, Zeke, like they have more weapons, in my opinion, than the Chiefs on offense. So give me the Cowboys. I like them to upset here. Let's catch up with the chat a little bit before we close it out with the primetime games. Tannehill versus the Texans, Tua versus the Jets, or Fields versus the Ravens. PPR, I don't know if those guys are going to catch a lot of passes, so we don't really worry about that. But give me Tannehill. That's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, let me get let's see. Let me actually go with Fields.
All right.
I like that matchup against the Ravens at home. Like he's had really good games last 2 weeks in a row. I think he continues that trend. And then it looks like the next one is start 2, Jacobs, Montgomery, and Wilson and Collins. Ugh. A little tricky here.
I like Monty and Collins. I really like Wilson. I think it's a good play, but it's really hard to figure out.
Yeah, so I'll take Wilson. I'll go Montgomery and Wilson, I think. I think Montgomery, is a lock here. Jacobs is banged up, and Drake just pops his head in too much. It's just hard to figure out what's going on. Montgomery's solid there. And then Wilson and Collins is definitely established his role, but I like the upside of Wilson. Anytime they've called upon him, he's done the job.
I actually don't love that matchup for Jacobs. Like, even if Drake was out today, like I still wouldn't love that matchup up against the Bengals rushing defense. They've been pretty solid on the ground this year. David Montgomery, I trust a lot. He came back last week, looked healthy, or their last game, looked very healthy, looked good to go. Wilson and Collins, it's so tough. I trust the Seahawks more, I guess that's what it is. They're going to be playing at home. Wilson's going on the road. They're probably going to give like Debo carries again. Debo is getting a handful of carries at running back, which I love. I'm a Debo owner. Let's get Debo that RB utility. Let's get that happening. Wilson, Montgomery, Collins, Montgomery, both of those are good plays. Sounds like we're both fading Jacobs.
Yep.
All right, couple games left here. We got the Steelers and the Chargers. Sunday Night Football. Steelers coming in as road dogs, +6 on the spread, +213 on the money line, and the over-under is at 47.5 points. I do really like the Chargers here, but if Ben plays, this number is going to move. Sounded like he's going to play. That's what I'm hearing. But you were mentioning that you thought Rudolph was going to be in. Where are we at with that?
It's still up in the air, and the problem with this game is the actives and inactives are due 90 minutes before the game starts. So this being the Sunday night game, you're not going to really hear anything till around 7 p.m. Eastern time. So with this one, Steelers, they won 4 or 5 in a row, something like that. But there's a lot of luck in there. They beat some bad teams. They got teams on a good time. I like the Chargers here at home. If Ben plays, the Steelers will cover. The number will probably also come down. If he doesn't, I like the Chargers to cover, and I'll take the under here as well. The Steelers' offense is not that good.
Yeah, I like the Chargers to win, but it says here that he's activated. So, I mean, does he have to just clear one more test?
No, if he's activated, then he's good to go. But
okay, then case,
if Ben's getting 6, I think the Steelers can cover 6, but they're not going to win.
I think I buy it up to 7 though. Like I like that. I agree with you, but I take the extra point because just why not, right? Like get it up to. Yeah. Let me see what I can get up 7. It's at -115. I get -140 at 7. I feel pretty good about that. The Chargers have been good on offense. Keenan Allen just lights out at the wide receiver position, but they're bleeding yards on the ground. Like their defense is like last in the league for rushing yards against. So I do think it's a big Najee Harris game. Yeah. I think that he can keep it close here. Man, 47.5. It seems like a really, really good number, but I think I'm going to take the under here. I think there's some sneaky defense on both sides. What do you like?
I like the under here. I don't think there's I think the Steelers defense can slow down the Chargers enough, but I don't think the offenses can get the over here.
I got you. Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's some sneaky defense available in that game. You might see a pick six going either direction, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, last up, we got the New York Giants traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Primetime Monday Night Football. Giants, 11-point spread underdogs. Wow, that's a big spread. Monday Night Football. Plus 400 on the money line. Total is 50 points. Giants are getting back Saquon. Is that enough? To cover 11? I don't think so. I mean, they've been bad.
Yeah, I think the Bucs also are on a losing streak. When was the last time I feel like you said that about the Bucs with Brady? Right? They lost 2 in a row. They got spanked a little bit by the football team last week. They lost by 10 on the road. So I think they're coming back home. They're pissed off, right?
Right.
And after 2 straight road losses, I think they lost to the Saints the week before, right? So that's they're not happy right now. Giants are coming to town. Danny Dimes is Mr. Turnovers here. So I think the Bucs are going to cover the number, and I think I'll go with the over as well because I think the Giants will put up some offense, but I think that the Bucs are just going to put up a lot more.
What would it take to cover have the Giants cover? Like if they got down to 9, 8 somehow, something happened. I don't know.
For the Giants to cover 11.
No. Like the Giants to cover in general. Like if something moved the line down tomorrow, because obviously it's like almost 10 a.m. the day prior.
Yeah.
If we got any movement here, what would be a number you could take the Giants at? Or if their number went up, like if they went up to like 14 or 13.
I think 2 touchdowns. I think they can get 2 touchdowns because I think the Giants are a feisty team. Like we saw when they played the Chiefs. What was it? Yeah, the Giants actually are getting a lot of Monday night games. Didn't they just play the Chiefs on Monday night like 2 weeks ago?
A lot of excitement coming into the season. I don't know.
Yeah. But they played the Chiefs down to the wire, right? The Chiefs needed a game-winning field goal to win that game. And I think they were, +7 or almost +10 in that game as well. I think the Bucs are a better team. And it's also in the context of how you're catching a team. The Chiefs are struggling at that time. The Bucs are pissed off. They've lost 2 in a row. They're falling behind for that number 1 seed now because the Packers are kind of an autopilot almost. So I think they're going to come out firing. And I think if it was +14, I might, or 13 even, I might like it, but I think 11, I don't know if they can cover 11.
Yeah, that's where I was going with that. I was like, if we get an extra field goal on this, I might be able to buy into that. I might be able to buy in because if I'm going to take the Lions at +14, like I said earlier, why not the Giants? They're just a better team, and it's the NFL at the end of the day. Like, these guys want to go out there. They still want to put on a show, play for their contracts, future contracts, etc. It's not like they just want to go out there and lay an egg. So, those big spreads, they're dangerous. All right. That's all that we have for today. Do you have anything to close it out with before we head out?
No, man. Go Bears. Let's get this upset.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will be back next week. We will not see you guys before Thanksgiving, so take care and be well. We'll be back tomorrow. Me and Steve will be back previewing Monday Night Football, but we won't see you guys till after the holiday. So hopefully you guys enjoy some turkey, some Thanksgiving, relative time, all that good stuff, and we'll be ready to kick off next Sunday with you.
Absolutely, man. Have a good one.
Yep, you guys do the same. Take care. Be good. You can't be good. Be good at it. We'll see you.